It's late night in the heartland. And we're back. It's Monday night. Everybody's feeling all right. Our green screen isn't grabbing great, but hey, we're not going to let that slow us down, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a great weekend. We had a great show yesterday, and we're looking for another great week of shows this week. Tomorrow night, we'll have Bill Lee. He's an expert on Bigfoot, and not just any kind of an expert on Bigfoot, but he's going to be giving you perspectives and ideas, and I think things that you have never heard about Bigfoot before. And I think it's going to be very, very powerful. I'm looking forward to it. On Wednesday night, we'll have our twice monthly visit with Mike King. I'm looking very forward to that. On Thursday night, I thought we were going to have somebody too, and I can't remember right now who it is, but I think on Thursday night we're having someone, or on Friday night we're having someone. But we've got some great people coming up, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be powerful podcasting excellence, and we're so glad to have you here as a part of it. We've got new logos, we got new backgrounds, we got new subject matter, and we are ready to rock and roll. Some things never change, though, and one of the constants here is focus, life force, energy. You go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the FLFE logo. You get 30 days free, but you'll want to just go ahead and take advantage of the product because it sends a high consciousness environment to you at your home. But don't worry, you can also have it on your phone so you can take it with you, and it will make a tremendous difference in your life. I've had nothing but great testimonials from the FLFE, Focus, Life Force, Energy. We affectionately call it Fluffy. But there's nothing fluffy about our subject tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about the 3 days and 3 nights situation. We're going to talk about the fact that the guy that you like to affectionately call a name that I'm not going to use, and I don't use it because it's a magic word. And when you say magic words, it sets off tapes in your head. It sets off engrams in your head. It dramatizes engrams, and it takes you out of your analytical mind. So even though I'll write it, I don't want to say it because I don't want to empower the word. But we'll just call him PJ for Plastic J, or the J Man. Maybe we'll call him that. That's good coffee. But at any rate, he had one job, just one job. And we're going to look at tonight and see whether he did it or not. And, dude, you had one job when 3 days and 3 nights isn't. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. This is the Unindoctrination Station. We're shining light into the dark corners of orthodoxy. I want to give a special welcome to all of our cousins. We appreciate you so very much. I want to give a special welcome to all of our visitors. We appreciate you very much. And we even appreciate the cockroach trolls that we get. You're not real people, but you do drive us up in the algorithms. So organically, more real people can actually see the show because your sorry ass is here. So thank you very much for bringing your sorry ass here. I do have some empathy for you because, wow, you guys don't have much of a life. But anyway, and you notice most of the trolls are guys and not girls because, I don't know, maybe girls are smarter than guys. I don't know. But anyway, welcome one and all. And let's go ahead and get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get right into this. When 3 days and 3 nights isn't, PJ had one job. Now, I know that a lot of times we get deep theologically. I know we get a lot technicalities going on at times. But if you can count to 3, you have the mental capacity to understand our subject tonight. If you can count to 3, then you have the ability to see what we're talking about tonight. 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers. If you can count to this many, then you're big enough, you're old enough to ride this ride. Now, whether you are able to be honest with yourself, that's another thing entirely, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages, because you once, twice, 3 times you're crazy. Some of you. But anyway, here we go. Lionel Richie, right? So let's look at Matthew 12, 39, and 40. And remember 3. Remember that old Sesame Street, or was that, I think that was Sesame Street 1, 2, 3. Anyway, 3. We're going to talk about 3 tonight. And PJ replied, and this is really interesting. I find this wording very, very interesting, and we'll look at it in depth. A wicked and an adulterous generation demands a sign. This is PJ himself, words of PJ in blood red, the blood of innocence. The count. 1, 2, 3. So he says a wicked, and we're going to look at this, and an adulterous generation seeks after a sign, demands a sign, but none will be given it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. So, ladies and gentlemen, all these people, sign, everywhere a sign. Everybody wants a sign. But PJ says only one sign. Remember, what was his name? Bill Engvall. Here's your sign. You get one sign. And it's the sign of the prophet Jonah. What's the one sign? The one sign is that just like Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the fish. 3 dog night. Remember 3 dog night? This is 3 God night. Sort of. 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish. So the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. What's the key there? 3 is the key. 3 days, 3 nights, 3 days, 3 nights. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? How about that? And it's a wicked and an adulterous generation that seeks after a sign. A wicked and an adulterous generation, Matthew 12, 39 and 40 tells us. And we'll go ahead and pull this up so you can see it with your own little eyes. And you don't have to say, oh, Jeff is changing things, because Jeff isn't changing things. You guys change things because you don't want to let the text say what it says, and I do. So we're just going to let the text say what it says, and we're going to show you what the text says, and we're going to show you what your script says about this subject that we're talking about, the 3 days and the 3 nights. We're going to show you what your text says about it. As soon as I can remember what the scripture was again, and it was what? Matthew 12, 39 through 40. Sorry about that, guys. All right, we'll get there. Matthew 12, 39 and 40. And here it is. And let's go ahead and show it to you all so you can feast your eyes upon this. Watch in the actual text itself. No time do my fingers leave my hands, and we're ready to show you some stuff that you've seen 1,000 times but never seen before. Okay. It is PJ talking, and he's talking to scribes and Pharisees, and so am I, Because those of you that are here, especially if you call yourself Christian truthers, and there's no such thing as, and we're going to show you why, you're a scribe and you're a Pharisee, and I'm going to prove it to you. Because you're teaching and believing the doctrine of the scribes and Pharisees, and you're doing exactly what these scribes and Pharisees were doing, and you're patting yourself on the back for it. And I find that kind of funny. Oh, we're against the scribes and Pharisees, but we do everything they did. So anyway, it was scribes and Pharisees, and then PJ says it's an evil and an adulterous generation that seeks after a sign. So let's go and look at what those words mean in the actual text. Evil, wicked, what does it mean? It means an evil, bad, wicked, malicious, and slothful generation. Generation is a name for people, a generation of people. So they're initially, what are they? They are either evil, bad, wicked, malicious, and slothful, or they're wicked, or they are adulterous, those that worship any other than the true God. So if you're looking for signs, and all of you are, what are you looking for? Revelation 12, September 23 sign, right? You're looking for the blood moons. You're looking for the 1260 days. You're looking for the Antichrist. You're looking for the heads to be chopped. You're looking for the mark of the beast. You're looking for the vials and the bowls. You're looking for the Antichrist. You're looking for the two witnesses. Those are signs. And if you're looking for those things, I hate to tell you, but your script says that you're either wicked or you're adulterous. And guess what? The people that are leading you to look for those things are the most wicked and the most adulterous. So which one are you? If you're seeking after a sign, which is a miracle, a sign, an indication, a mark, or a token, you're all seeking after the signs of the times. And because you are, I want to ask you tonight to ask yourself, look at yourself in the nearest reflective surface and say, are you wicked or are you adulterous? Because you're one or the other. Why? Because you're seeking after signs. And not only are you wicked, not only are you wicked or adulterous, you're also not that bright, because there's only one sign that you should be looking for, and it already happened according to your story. So if you're still looking for them, not only are you wicked or adulterous, you're probably not the sharpest tool in the shed, not the sharpest knife in the drawer. The lights are on and nobody's home. You're a couple fries short of a happy meal. You don't have enough batteries to make your bunny pound the drum, and we could go on, but we won't. But you're only going to get one sign, just one, except there's only going to be one sign. And what's that one sign going to be? The prophet Jonah. You know Jonah and the whale. They threw him off the boat. The whale swallowed him. Whale fish. We don't care about it. It's a story. And he was 3 days and 3 nights in that fish. So will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. What part of that do you not understand, ladies and gentlemen? What part of that gives you difficulty in picking up what I'm putting down? It's very simple. It's very easy. You're either wicked, evil, bad, malicious, or slothful. Aren't you glad the Bible's here to remind you that you are all those things all the time? Hebraistically, it's extended to those who worship any other than the true God. Do you want to be Hebraic, really? Because what were the scribes and Pharisees? They were Hebraic. And just who is the true God? And that's the real key to this whole thing. You're not trusting the true God, and it has nothing to do with any of these divinities or any of these so-called deities. It has to do with the fact that you refuse to believe, because you've been pounded and hammered for 2,000 years, and not in a good way, that you are born with original sin, that at best you're a sinner saved by grace, when the reality is that when you came into this place, according to the first chapter of the book of John, you received the message of enlightenment. You're not born with original sin. You're born with the spark of divinity within. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. Baby cows have baby cows. Horses have baby horses. Ducks have baby ducks. Sheep have baby sheep. You are born in the image and after the likeness of the Elohim, gods and goddesses, multiple, more than one. So what are you? You're the offspring of a God. What does that make you? Who is the true God? Remember that reflective surface you looked in? Ask that again. Who is the true God? You don't have to go on bended knee to somebody else's Savior to beg him to save you from the sin he gave you. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. But yet you still seek after, desire, search, and make inquiries about signs, miracles, indications, marks, and tokens. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the words of Bill Engvall, here's your sign. Here's your sign. No sign is coming except that one of Jonah. 3 days, 3 nights in the belly of the fish. Son of man will be 3 days, 3 nights in the heart of the earth. This isn't hard. This right here, it's night. This right here is day. Half of a 24-hour period is night, roughly. Half of a 24-hour period is day, roughly. And I know that you don't care, most of you, what your script says. You say we believe the Bible, every jot, every tittle, every line. You say you believe it 100%, but you don't believe it when you actually have to look at what it says, and it disagrees with what your preacher, teacher, pastor, priest, guru says. Because it's very, very clear, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to get to where you can look at these words, you just go up here and click on the next blue line arrow. It'll take you to the next verse. So as Jonah was 3, what does 3 mean? We're going to go back to basics. Tres, tria, it means 3. It means thrice. It means 3. Uno, dos, tres. Eins, zwei, drei. 3. Do I need to review that, or do we understand what 3 is? You got 3? Remember, 1, 2, 3. How many fingers am I holding up? 3. So Jonah was 3. 3 what? 3 days. What is a day? The period from sunrise to sunset. The period from sunrise to sunset. Okay, we got that. So there were going to be 3 sunrises to sunsets that he'd be in the grave. And then there's also 3 nights. What's night? Well, we know what day is. It's a period from sunrise to sunset. So what's night? The period from sunset to sunrise. And he would be 3 days in the heart. What's the heart? He'd be 3 days buried in the heart, the middle of what? Of the earth. He's going to be 3 days and 3 nights in the soil. It was supposed to be a 72-hour dirt nap. Jesus had one job. Oops, I said the word. PJ had one job. And his job was to take a 72-hour dirt nap. And he couldn't do it. I'm here to show you and tell you he did not take a 72-hour dirt nap. And we're going to prove to you that he didn't take a 72-hour dirt nap. And if he did not take a 72-hour dirt nap, and taking a 72-hour dirt nap was the one sign of true messiahship, then what does that tell you? If the one sign was a 72-hour dirt nap, and if he didn't take the 72-hour dirt nap, then what do you know about the messianic claims of PJ? Well, you know that he ain't if he didn't. It's just that simple. This isn't wanting to show me the new comments. I'm not sure why. Oh, here they come. Here they come. And we don't answer questions in the chat room because it's a call-in show. So if you're a Christian scholar and you want to put your questions in the chat, they will be ignored. If you think you know more than I do, if you think that you're wrong and I'm right, we will open the phone lines and you will have the opportunity to call and be polite and be interesting and get to your point, or you will not get your questions answered. If you don't have the tenacity to pick up the telephone, then you're not important enough to have your ideas addressed. If you don't have enough conviction to pick up the phone and to present them to me personally, then you are not important enough, and neither are your ideas to be dealt with on this show. It's only a big boys and a big girls show. So you got 3, 1, 2, 3. You got day, you got night. I think we're pretty square on that. So he had to be 1, 2, 3 if he's the one for you and me. Now, according to the Gospel of Mark, he died around the 9th hour of the day, which is about 3 p.m. And that was on Friday. That was on Friday. So Friday, 3 p.m., he died. And even if we give him being in the grave Friday, which is really questionable, because if he died at 3 p.m., he's dead on the cross at 3 p.m., how long did it take to get him from the cross and into the grave? And let's say they didn't even prepare his body. They just took him off the cross. They put him into the grave. How long did that take to get him tucked away into the grave? Probably took 2-3 hours. It probably was 6, 7 o'clock at night in the evening before he ever got in the grave. So really, we shouldn't even give him Friday. But because we're nice people, because we're generous people, because we are people that are trying to help you see beyond your closed-mindedness, we'll be open-minded. We'll say, okay, we'll give you Friday, even though we shouldn't. We'll give you Friday. So being generous, we'll give him Friday, which is 1. He was in the belly of the earth. Friday, the day means sunrise to sunset, but we're going to fudge it. So Friday, we'll give you 1, the count. 1. And then Saturday, he was in the grave. 2. We'll give you 2. But where's the 3? I gave you Friday. I gave you Saturday. But Sunday, they got there at sunrise. He was gone. So that means he left sometime Saturday night. 1 day, sort of, 2 days, no 3 days. So at the very most, PJ spent 2 days in the grave, not 3. The only sign was he had one job: stay in there 3 days. He didn't. So what does that mean? If there was only one sign and the one guy that was going to be the guy was 3 days in the grave, then PJ wasn't that guy, because he wasn't 3 days in the grave. And it doesn't matter how you add it up, he wasn't 3 days in the grave. Remember, 1, 2, 3. We only got to this many. There's no this many. No this many. And don't scam my chat. If you think you have an answer, call in later. And you're wrong, just wait. Remember, I spent 25 years as a minister. I've got a Bible college degree. I've got 100,000 hours of studying this stuff. You're going to make yourself look silly. Best you listen. He spent 2 days in the grave, not 3. Period. Okay, so let's move to night. Remember, he died by the 9th hour, which is about 3 p.m. 3 nights. He gets credit for Friday night because he was there Friday night. We all agree he was there Friday night. Saturday night, night's supposed to be from nightfall to sunrise. They got there at sunrise. He was already gone. So technically, We shouldn't give him Saturday night, but because we're open-minded and because we're trying to get you to think and we're trying to meet you more than halfway, we'll give you Saturday night. Because Saturday night's all right for something I forgot. So Saturday night. Saturday night. Saturday night. He's in there Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday night. But he was there Friday night. That's 1. He was there Saturday night. That's 2. But he was gone by sunrise, no third night. He spent 2 nights in the grave, not 3. There's only one sign. The one sign is that you're there 3 days and 3 nights. He wasn't there 3 days. He wasn't there 3 nights. So your PJ ain't the guy according to your script. He had one job and he didn't do it. And he didn't even pick up his clothes on the way out, man. At least he did fold them nicely, though. At least he folded them. He did not spend 3 days and 3 nights in the grave. Let me just talk to you like real people, even though some of you are not. Saturday night's all right for fighting. Yeah, Elton John. Let's say that you hired PJ. Let's say you hired PJ. And you hired him to do a 3-day, 3-night job, and you were paying him by the hour. So again, we're going to be very generous here. You were paying him by the hour. It was a 3-day and a 3-night job. Okay? So 8 hours a day. Let's just say you only made him work 8 hours a day, even though a day biblically defined is sunrise to sunset. That's more like 12 hours. But let's just say it was 8. So 8 hours, and it was a 3-day job. That means you'd be paying him for 24 daytime hours. And then he'd go home and get himself a little plastic meal. And then he'd come home and he'd be there for 8 hours at night for 3 nights. That'd be another 24 hours worked on. So you'd owe your little plastic worker 24 hours for the day and 24 hours for the night if it was a 3-day and 3-night job. So you would owe him 48 hours of pay. You'd owe him 48 hours of pay. And say because it's Joe Biden's America, you had to pay him $15 an hour minimum wage. You probably wouldn't hire him, and that's the problem with the 15-hour minimum wage. But let's say it's 15 hours. You owe him $720. Because he was supposed to give you 48 hours of work. But if you do the math, at the very most, he gave you 36 hours of work. He was supposed to give you 48. But at the very most, he gave you 36 hours of work. That's $540. Now, if somebody was supposed to give you 48 hours of work and you had already paid him $720, if they only did $540 work, are you going to be coming to them for that extra $180? Of course you are. Because you're a logical, rational, reasonable person. But somehow, when it gets to the BIBLE, you go stupid. You can't think anymore. You don't have a rational mind anymore. You got an irrational mind. He had one job. He did not do the one job that he had. But folks, let me tell you something. HempWorks does the job. Whether you're looking for CBD, whether you're looking for these nice smelly oils, what are they called? The oils that you put in the thing and it makes it smell. Love them. Got them going right now. Maybe you like the shampoos, like I got the nice hemp shampoo. Maybe you like the lotions that I put on my face, makes me look great. Maybe you like the vitamins. Go to HempWorks. Go to whistleblowercbd.com. Get the stuff you get better stuff, and give Jeff a few shekels to keep expanding this work and blowing minds on an ever-increasing basis. And I will thank you for it. Ladies and gentlemen, he had one job. He didn't do it. He did not do it. And there was only one sign. Remember? And I hate to remind you, but you're wicked and adulterous because you're looking for signs, but only one was given. That was a sign of the Jonah, 3 days, 3 nights in the belly of the earth. The Jesus didn't do it. And remember, know the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9. 1 and 2 is 3, 3 is 9. You'll understand the universe. If he did not fulfill the sign, then he is not the Savior, and he demonstrably did not fulfill it. He did not fulfill it. Abernathy, I'm giving you one more chance. If you spam my chat again, you will be banned right after this show, and you will never, ever be able to watch again. It's up to you. He demonstrably did not fulfill it. Now, here comes the explanations. And here's our typical Bible scholar right over here. Well, Jeff, you got to understand it's inclusive reckoning. Now, what I understand is that the text said, remember what your script said very plainly? 3 days, 3 nights, 3 dawns till dusk, 3 dusks till dawn. That's the only acceptable sign of a Savior. And this guy didn't do it. And I haven't heard of anybody else who's done it. That's what the text says. But so many of you right now are yelling and screaming, but. That's because you don't respect your own Bible. I have respect for the Bible. I let the text say what the text says. You don't, and you won't, because you won't admit that you're liars. It's just that true. Inclusive reckoning. In the Greek, that's called bullshit tap dancing. Inclusive reckoning, according to Wikipedia, is a theory, a method of calculating time where part of a time period is rounded up to count as a whole time period, and any small part of a day is reckoned as the entire 24-hour period. You ever heard of a thing called confirmation bias? It means you believe what you believe so much that you're willing to grasp at any straw to try to prove it, even when it's demonstrably false. So you really want to tell me that we believe the Bible. The Bible is profitable for proof and instruction. It is profitable for doctrine. Every word in the Bible is true, except where it says 3 days and 3 nights, and you want to bring up this bullshit tap dancing that you can count part of a day as a whole day. Well, even if you could count part of a day as a whole day, that'll give you Friday, that'll give you Saturday, that'll give you Friday night, that'll give you Saturday night. He was gone when it was still dark on Sunday. Before the sun came up, he was gone. You didn't even get a part of Sunday to put in your bullshit tap dancing inclusive reckoning. Confirmation bias is the tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms or supports one's prior beliefs or values. People display this bias when they select information that supports their views and ignore contrary information, just like you're doing right now. You're ignoring your own script. And then what did it say about the people that add to or take away, people that try to change the word of God? You're changing what you call the word of God. And you call me the Antichrist. People display this bias when they select information that supports their views, ignoring contrary information, or when they interpret ambiguous evidence as supporting their existing attitudes. This effect is the strongest for desired outcomes, for emotionally charged issues, and for deeply entrenched beliefs. Welcome to Exianity, ladies and gentlemen. Confirmation bias cannot be eliminated, but it can be managed, for example, by education, and training in critical thinking skills. Welcome to your education. Welcome to your training in critical thinking skills, my ex-gen friends. Your script was very clear that he was supposed to be there for 3 daytime periods of sunrise to sunset and 3 nighttime periods from sunset to sunrise. He wasn't. He didn't fulfill it. He's not the guy you think he is. And there was only one sign given for you to be sure, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Okay, Abernathy, you are getting banned right after the show. I can't do it during the show, so we'll just ignore you from then till now, and you're getting banned. Well, bye. But you know what? I used to be like these people. That's why I know these people, and that's why they won't debate me. I'll guarantee you that Mr. Expert in the chat room will not pick up the phone and call me. He won't. Because he doesn't have the courage of his convictions, and he knows that he can't defend them. My personal confirmation bias led me to come up with what I used to call the Wednesday crucifixion theory. I've taught this on 5 continents. I've preached this up one side and down the other. And basically, this is the basis of the Wednesday crucifixion theory. Some people have argued that PJ was actually crucified on Wednesday, not on Friday. And that gets them able to handle the 3 days and 3 nights in Matthew before the resurrection, which was celebrated on a Sunday, they say. So what this is based upon is in that Passion Week, it was Passover week. And during that week, there were annual Sabbaths that fell in addition to the weekly Sabbath. So it opens up a window of manipulation to the non-analytical thinker who is mired in Christianity and doesn't want to believe the plain teachings of your script, which you call scripture. So they seize upon it. How do I know? Because I did it. I read this and said, oh, shit. I can't be a person of integrity and believe that he died on Friday and rose on Sunday, because it's not 3 days and 3 nights, and he's not the Savior. He's a false prophet. So I started looking, I started studying, and I realized that on Thursday was one of the Sabbaths of that week. One of the Passover high Sabbaths was on Thursday. And then you had your regular Sabbath on Saturday, which it always was. So if he was crucified on Wednesday at 3 p.m., then he could have spent Wednesday night in the grave, Thursday night in the grave, Friday night in the grave. And then he could have spent Thursday in the grave, Friday in the grave, Saturday in the grave, and rose sometime before sunrise on Sunday morning. Right? Because there was a double Sabbath per Jewish tradition during that Passion Week narrative in AD 70. That's the way it goes. This is actually how it looks from my own Bible. This is the Bible that I used to preach from. I preached from this Bible for probably at least 15 of those 25 years. And this comes from within the pages of this Bible. It's in the back pages of my Bible. And I know it's kind of hard to read, but this is probably, this has to be at least 15, 20 years old, this writing. And you can see that I'm looking at Matthew 12:40, 3 days and 3 nights. And I'm doing the math. Friday night goes into the grave, has a day and night, has a day and night, and it doesn't work out. It's only 1.5 days, 1.5 nights. It just doesn't work. I have to admit, it's 1.5 days, less than 2 nights. He buried Friday and rose Sunday. Jonah and, I got really fancy. I was already into the Y word. but the math didn't work. And I was saying, rut-row, Shraggy, it doesn't work. So I actually had integrity. I studied. I thought I had integrity. And so I looked and I found, ladies and gentlemen, that Thursday was a high day Sabbath. It could rightly be called a Sabbath. And I said, oh, if he got crucified on Wednesday, then that means he was one night, Wednesday night, in the grave. And then the high day Sabbath, he was there for that day and that night. And then Friday, he was there for that day and that night. Sabbath, which was Saturday, he was there for a day. And then he was gone by sunrise. So you've got your 3 days and you've got your 3 nights, and he's gone by sunrise on Sunday. Right? That's the Wednesday crucifixion theory as embraced by evangelist Jeffrey Daugherty 10, 15, 20 years ago. Problem is that you're using a mixed reckoning formula that cannot be correct. This is a beautiful example of confirmation bias at its best or at its worst. Because what you've done with this is you say, I'm not a Jew, I'm not a Jew, I'm not a Jew, but then you count like a Jew. Part of it. So right here, what you are is what you really are. You're admitting what you really are, that you're really a Jew that is grafted in, and you've bought their whole lie. Because you've got to believe that this was really a Sabbath. And only Jews really believe that that Thursday was a Sabbath. That makes you a Jew. And then you've got to believe that this Saturday was really the Sabbath. But all of you that are Christians believe that Sunday's really the Sabbath. So you're using Jewish reckoning to gain the extra days that you need, but then you go back to Christian reckoning to get the theological interpretation that you want. This is called tap dancing. This is called confirmation bias. This is called a whole lot of bullshit going on. If Elvis would have sang it, he said, and there's a whole lot of bullshit going on here. It's bullshit. Sooner or later, you might have the integrity to actually face the truth and stop doing bullshit. Maybe you won't. But if you remember right after that, in the text we looked at, it said the men of Nineveh will stand at the judgment of this generation and condemn it. Which generation? This generation we're in. Because this generation that we're in is seeking after signs. You want to know when PJ's coming back. All of these people on YouTube making all this money with all these subscribers talking about what? Bible prophecy, which was invented by the Jesuits, which is all about seeking after signs, and you don't have the integrity to deal with this fact. You know you're seeking after signs. You're looking for the signs of the times. And you were told that those that do are wicked and adulterous. And the men of Nineveh will look at you and condemn you, because this is an even greater fish story than Jonah tried to sell them. The queen of the south will rise at this generation, you, and condemn you, because she came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and one greater than Solomon is here. One greater than Jonah is here. Who? The same person that's the real God. Who? You. You're greater than Jonah. You're greater than Solomon. Because you're your own guru. You're your own spirit guide. You're your own ascended master. If you'll just realize that you're divine, you're sovereign and you're free, and that you don't have original sin. You've got the spark of divinity within. This is a bad news, good news night for you. If you want to continue to try to use bullshit, inclusive reckoning, lousy scholarship, if you want to continue to be a liar and not believe what the script says, then that's bad news, because you're wicked, you're adulterous, and you're coming back. But you also have the chance to turn this into a good news scenario and say, you know what? I see that I'm wrong. I see that the scripture, your script, says very clearly he was supposed to be there. 3 12-hour days, 3 12-hour nights. He wasn't. It was the only sign. He's not the guy. This is called plausible deniability. They told you. Rome wrote this specifically for you. They told you that if it was true, it had to be this way. And it's not this way, and you're still accepting it as true. They're laughing in your faces. You look ridiculous, you look silly, you look foolish, and everyone with 2 brain cells still left to rub together knows that you're silly. Why do you want to insist on something that even your script demonstrably, easily, provably shows isn't true? What's wrong with you? You're greater than Jonah. You're greater than Solomon. You can count to 1, 2, 3. And he didn't make it to 3. He had one job, and he didn't do it. You got one job: to get the hell out of this fear and guilt, blood magic, trauma-based mind control matrix that Exianity is running. And guess what? If you can't get past 1, 2, 3, then you are not getting out of here. And frankly, you don't deserve to. If you can't count to 3, you can't graduate. If you can't count to 3, you don't get to go to the next place until you can count to 3. And if you insist on never learning to count to 3, then you will cease to be. Sad, but true. You have a choice tonight to decide if you're wicked or just. Decide if you're wicked or just. We already know who's wicked. We already know who's adulterous. Those people that, like the Pharisees, seek after signs. And every single one of you that calls yourself a Christian truther is a wicked, adulterous scribe Pharisee. Why? Because all you do is talk about signs. How am I doing tonight? You look good, babe. All you do is look for signs. You're all about prophecy, which is invented by the Jesuits, and still not one of you will debate me on that. You're all about seeking for signs. You're wicked. Not me, but your own script calls you wicked. What about these other people? I'm not ashamed of the gospel of the seaman. And you have to understand the Romans wrote this. It's in the book of Romans. The gospel, this word didn't even exist until the Roman emperor cult built it. And this word gospel means good news of the message of the victories of Caesar. The C word here is Titus. I'm not ashamed of the message of the victory of Titus, because it's the power of God unto salvation, everyone that believes. And then they give us a little bit of disclosure. The just will live by faith. Can we look at that real quickly? Can we look at Romans 1:16? And can we just look real quickly and see what we're supposed to be? See how we can be better than we are? Let's look at this real quickly. Romans 1:16. It's real simple. You just go back over here and you click on Romans. And then you go over here to, it's already on 1, and we're just going to roll down here. We don't want to be in the interlinear right now. We're going to hit King James Version because bless God, everybody loves King James. 1 and 16. 1, what is Romans 1:16? Oh, yeah, we're talking about the just shall live by faith. It's actually 1:17. My bad. What does this mean? The just means what? Well, they gave it away. It means righteous. It means innocent. Correct, righteous, innocent people live by not signs, they live by faith. What is faith? Faith is belief, trust, confidence. Remember, it's the evidence of things hoped for, the substance of things not yet seen. Substance of things not yet seen. It's in Hebrews. Where is it in Hebrews? It's in Hebrews 11:1. Know the magnificence of 3, 6, 9. Isn't that interesting? Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance. It's the assurance. It's the steadiness. It's the assurance. It's the substance of what? Of what we hope for. And it's the certainty. What certainty mean? It's the proof of what? Things that we do not see. That's the difference between you and me, you so-called Christian truther that's not, because you can't be. Those two terms are mutually exclusive. You are looking for signs in the sky that you can see. You are looking for heads to be chopped off that you can see, but not me. You're looking for the 2 witnesses that you can see, but not me. You're looking for the Antichrist that you can see, but not me. You're looking for the tribulation that you can see, but not me. You're looking for the mark of the beast that you can see, but not me. That's the difference between me and thee. You're looking for signs, things. And your script tells you that because you're doing that, you're wicked and you're adulterous. Me and the cousins, we are not looking for signs because we have already a substance of things hoped for. We've already got an evidence of things that are not yet seen. We are living by faith. We are just. You are seeking signs. You're wicked. You're adulterous. Come on over to the good team whenever you want. Or don't, because it doesn't change the truth one iota. He had one job, and he didn't do it. There was one sign, and he didn't fulfill it. Now, what you going to do now that this truth has broken out all over you? When 3 days and 3 nights isn't. It doesn't get any simpler than that. It doesn't get any easier than that. It doesn't get much better than that. Jeff, why are you trying to destroy people's faith? I'm not. I'm trying to set people free. I'm trying to set you free from fairy tales that steal your divinity, that steal your sovereignty, and that steal your freedom. That's what I'm here to do, is to get you on the freedom train. That's what we're all about. Now, if you think I'm wrong and you can call up and give me a polite, intelligent, short, sweet, and to the point reason of why I'm wrong, I'm about to bring on open the calls. And I want to know, where are all the Christian experts? Where are all these Bible scholars? Where are you? Where are you? Because I'm about to open the lines. They're open right now, and we will get people that are looking for answers. We'll get people that have interesting ideas. We'll get people that have seen some stuff and done some stuff, but we won't get any of these cowardly Christian cockroaches. Because they won't call. They won't call. They just don't have it in them. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff. This is Mr. A here, and I have a very, very important question for two questions for the rods. Sorry to open up your show like this, but can I ask the questions?
Absolutely.
Okay. First question is, does the cabal control civilian law enforcement?
Yes, emphatically.
And the second question is, does the cabal control military law enforcement?
Yes, emphatically.
Okay, I think you have your next show, Jeff, and I'll be talking to you later.
Thank you, Mr. A. Appreciate that very, very much. Powerful points, ladies and gentlemen. Powerful, powerful points. The phone lines are open. 913-279-0831. I know you're used to seeing it a little bit larger, so I'll put it on the bottom too. The lines are open. 913-279-0831. Just be polite. Just be interesting. And again, where are the Christians? All we hear is crickets, crickets, crickets. Where are all the great debaters? Where are all the great Bible scholars? Where are the people that say I'm wrong, don't know what I'm talking about, abuse the scriptures, Antichrist? Where are you? I'd really like to know why nobody has the guts, while nobody has the integrity to pick up a phone and call, because they know they cannot defend their own questions. And the Apostle Paul said, always be ready to give a defense of the hope that you have. Where are you? Obviously not ready. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, man, I had a hard time remembering that phone number. I'm a little dyslexic and I'm brain dead. I got killed in Germany by some terrorists. But I hear what you're saying, man. I agree with you 100%. You know, there's a lot of gods in this world. You know, people that think they're gods and want to be worshipped as gods. But the fact of the matter remains, you know, there's a Stargate under that temple in the pyramid in Egypt. They lock everybody out of it. They're hiding all the technology. Our government, our religious leaders, all these prophets saying what's going to happen. They're all telling their own story, and everybody's lying to each other. You know, all these lies spread lies, you know, and the truth is always going to be the truth. And they say the truth will set you free, and then they say you can't handle the truth. But you speak the truth, man, because I got a lie detector hooked up to you on my phone, and it's not going off saying you're lying, man. So I just want to give you some kudos, man. You deserve it. Every kudos you get, I'll be supporting you next Friday when I get my stimulus check. All right.
Well, I thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. I really do.
All right, man. All right. No, I got to get out of here, man. Maybe whatever spirit you worship, your higher power bless you, man. You deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very kind. I don't get a lot of that. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff. Great show.
Thank you.
A couple things. My opinion is this: the way you throw it out there, and I start thinking about it more. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You're right. They do laugh. The controllers laugh, and I think the reason that they threw that in there about the adulterous and the wicked will look for signs, because they already knew that they've already been brainwashed into the fear and guilt and control Christianity. It only makes sense that they would all be trembling, looking for a sign. I mean, it's literally mocking people.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they are laughing. Why would they not be laughing? They created it all, especially, you know, the gospel.
Yeah.
So it's so insulting. And I really feel, well, real quick, I really feel like if people really literally read the Bible versus just listening to what preachers and pastors taught them, they would see it's in their face. It literally is in your face. So just wanted to
And it was
share that with
written
you.
this way. It's dark Roman humor. It's not enough for Rome just to write it and watch you get fooled by it. They tell you that they're going to fool you. Then they fool you, and then they laugh at you because you let them fool you. And like Chloe says, the cowards are hiding in the corner. They love to laugh at us. And let's be honest. Those of you that believe this are funny. It's a script. And there's no doubt about it. I'm not sure how we got into a Stargate, but hey, Stargates are cool subjects, right? And listen, yeah, they gave us signs and said, don't look for them. See, you're starting to catch on. You're starting to catch on. He was a carpenter, really? Galen, I think that if you study the original languages, he was probably not a carpenter, but a block mason. And a mason. You know what? We should do at least a little mini show on that. Jesus wasn't a carpenter. The J guy wasn't a carpenter. He was a mason. Imagine that. Why would they want you to think that he was a mason? No idea why they'd want to think that. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Yes, Jeff. How you doing? This is Ivor. I go by Ivor.
Hi, Ivor. What's up?
Well, I was inspired to call by one of the fellow chat members, and I just had a question here. As a kid, I always wondered why with the resurrection, 1 month it'll be March, and the next month is April, and they couldn't give me a serious answer to that, even though I did find out that was the spring solstice. But they would never, when you present that information to them, that's not the case.
That's a great point, because what they don't want to tell you is that they're pegging it to the solstice, which of course is supposed to be pagan and bad, or they're pegging it to the Jewish Passover, which we're not supposed to be Jewish. We're supposed to be Christians. So it's just silliness. And all it is pegged to Roman Christianity, whether it be Roman Catholicism or Roman Protestantism. It's all goes back to Rome. All roads lead to Rome, and all of your Abrahamic faith leads to Rome, ladies and gentlemen. There's no doubt about it. And there's also no doubt about how profound a product, I'm trying to get this to catch me again, how profound a product nanosoma is. I mean, look at this hair. This hair used to be white. Now it's coming back to its brown, blonde hotness. Look at this skin. I'll be 58 years old this year. You couldn't even believe it, could you? Nanosoma strengthens immunity, repairs skin. It puts your body back in homeostasis, and it allows your body to heal everything that your body faces. Nanosoma doesn't heal anything, but it helps activate your natural bodily functions and bring them to optimization in order for you to heal it. And it is eminently affordable, the nanosoma. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the nanosoma logo, and you'll be taken to the nanosoma page. If you want to read more about it, do so. Oh, I need to put the video that we did with Stephen with Dr. Presser. It's not Stephen, I forget his Richard. And get all the information you need. But you ought to have this product because it will change your life, and it's eminently affordable. That's the nanosoma, ladies and gentlemen. The phone lines are open. 913-279-0831. 913-279-0831. We welcome your calls, and still we wait. Still we wait for any of these great, powerful, amazing Christian scholars to call. They won't because they can't. They cannot. It is a snag, Jesus Wizard spatula. And they are controlled by the usual suspects. That's why they can't bring anything to the table. It's late night in the heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. What's on your mind tonight? You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
I'm just wondering if you've heard of the virologist by the name of Gert Van Bosch.
No.
Okay. Del Bigtree did a Brighton video on this man. He's a top virologist in the world. He's worked, if you looked at the man's resume, like he's been part of developing and making vaccines over the years. And he's come out basically saying the COVID vaccine he's pro-vaccine, he's pro-COVID vaccine, but he said right now, in the middle of a pandemic, this isn't the time to be getting the COVID vaccine, that essentially this COVID vaccine is going to potentially wipe out a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else to say beyond that?
No, I mean.
Well, thanks a lot for that. I think you were polite. I don't know about the interesting, but that's okay. We appreciate you. It's late night in the heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, it's Roy. Yeah, I was just wondering, like, a couple things, like, why would he destroy them? Like, why would the Bible God destroy people? And, I mean, send them to hell forever rather than just destroying them? Do you think, I mean, if he's a false God, then do you think that he could just get the energy out of them forever or something like that?
Well, obviously, you're on a very, very great train of thought. If he was the real God, and if he was a God of peace, and if he was a God of love, then the last thing he would do is throw 99%. You know, they love to tell you, oh, the way to life is narrow, few be that find it. The way to hell is wide and many find it. So about 90, 95, 99% of the people he ever made, he's going to burn in hell forever and ever and ever and ever. That's not a good God. That's not a righteous God. That's a psychopathic, heinous criminal. Anybody that was a God that messed up would, like you said, just terminate existence. And even that would be a failing God. If 99% of the people you made wind up in hell, then it's not the people's fault. It's the God who made them fault because he messed up. Come on, folks. Really? Really? Thank you, Isolda. It's late night in the heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. 909 area code. You're live.
Wow. Thank you, Jeff. You take my call. Thank you.
Absolutely. What's on your mind?
You know, I've been following you for a short time. And I just want to say that I really appreciate the contrast of just thinking differently. It saved my life. Thank you.
Well, I really appreciate that. And you're the one that did it. I just gave you maybe a little bit of a nudge. So it's very nice to have you here. And thank you for that. And I appreciate you.
Well, anyways, that's something I've been exercising recently with your channel and you. It's like we're talking to each other. We know what we're talking about.
Yep.
And I just want to say thank you so much. My whole life was changed a couple of years ago.
Well, it's exciting to be a part of that, and I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. It's late night in the heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, it's Roy again. I'm sorry if I wasn't interesting enough or whatever happened, you know.
Okay, is there anything else on your mind, or was that it?
No, like just Okay, I guess that was it, huh? I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know if he wants their loose or not. And one time someone at church said that God would talk to me in 3 days, right? And then it was Sunday when when they told me that, and then it was Wednesday night. So that's a full 3 days, but that's nowhere near like, what they say like in the Bible,
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. All righty then. I love these people, and they seem to be on Facebook. Oh, I blocked Cynthia. Sorry, baby. I didn't mean to do that. They seem to be on Facebook. They want to write these big pages long, but they won't call in. Pick up the phone and call, you coward. Jeez. I hate to say that, but I really don't. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, this is Al Giffen. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm excellent. How are you? And what's on your mind?
Good. I used to listen to you down in Florida, and great shows all the time, and good to support you. But
Thank
anyway,
you.
I'm just wondering if a lot of these guys don't want to call in, they're probably scared of talking to you because pretty much have answers for a lot of things that they don't agree with.
Absolutely.
And that's why they're not calling. Anyway, I'll be calling back in a few nights. Thank you so much. I'm just getting back into it, buddy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's always good to know that you're out there listening. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for holding. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hello, Jeffrey. This is Isolda.
Hi, Isolda. How are you?
Great presentation.
Thank you.
I would like to say that, it's always made me wonder, when you look at the Jewish nation, they were the chosen people by God.
Supposedly.
So how did they look at and how did they call anyone else who was not Jewish? It's the Gentile, the Goim.
Yep, the dogs.
So now I wonder, why would their Messiah would give their life for non-Jewish people? Did anyone thought about that? I mean, it's very contradicting. That concept by itself throws out the whole Jesus Christ story.
It does. It absolutely does. Great point.
Yes. And also, when you look at the Old Testament and the New Testament, to my knowledge, and I might be wrong, but I think that the New Testament was added to the Old Testament in 485. And they had to connect the two storylines together. So they had a Messiah in the Old Testament, and they had to write a new one to bring the two storylines together. And I don't know how they sold it, that the the non-Jewish, the Gentile would be saved by a Jewish Messiah. So that's something to think about.
It is something to think about, and you're right. And if you read the works of Joseph Atwell, it tends to put it together. And if you look at we have several playlists on this channel that'll put it together for you as well. It's late night
to think about
in the Heartland. You got to turn it down.
The works of Joseph.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on, Jeff?
I'm just waiting to hear what's on your mind.
Well, I wanted to say something. I just started watching, so I might be a little late to the game. But one time my friend and I were talking about the Exodus, and he pointed out a pretty funny thing. There was a point where God wanted to destroy all of the Jewish nation. And then Moses is like, well, that might not be a good idea. It might not be a good PR move to wipe out all these people after you just saved them from the Egyptians. And we were kind of laughing, like, Moses is like the PR guy, like, no, it might not be a good idea to kill everybody.
Right.
People might not want to follow you after that. And then God said, maybe you're right, Moses. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, why would you go to all this trouble to prove you're such a tough guy, and then you get mad and you're like, I'm just going to kill everybody? It seems very schizophrenic.
Exactly. And then if you believe the worldwide flood story, he did kill everybody.
Right.
And he's going to do it again when he purges the earth with fire. So he is psychopathic. He is a murderer, but he's not going to do it. He's not going to be able to do it because we are getting the information out that is going to prevent him from doing it. He's going to lose, and we are going to win. We're building a coalition against the false, fallen God of the Bible, and he will not stand. We will emerge victorious. I guarantee it. We will emerge victorious. And folks, I also want to make sure that you remember the life wave. Activate your stem cells, elevate and regenerate. You can go to that website or just go to jeffreydaugherty.com and click on the light wave logo. There are these amazing patches that work with the light energy within your body and bring tremendous results. I'm so pleased to be able to offer those to you. They're super fantastic. It's good people. It's a good product. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com and go ahead and do it because it is fantastic stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. And the phone lines are still open. And I usually wait till the end of the show to do this, but this little cockroach over on Facebook, he's just made me I'm just tired of getting rid of his stupid stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce this cockroach out of here because he doesn't have any guts. He won't make a phone call. He just wants to stand there and spam my chat. And I'm sick and tired of his little cockroach self. So I'm going to get rid of him and go ahead and call in while I get rid of this guy because I'm like Khan. He tasks me. I'm sick and tired of the little chicken cockroach that won't pick up the phone and call, but wants to continue to spam the chat. And we're just not going to allow that to continue. And I'm going to find it here and get rid of it. Here it is right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's just this easy. Give me just 1 second. Oh, and goodbye. You're blocked. Wow, I hope you find something to do with your life that doesn't involve making somebody else very, very sad and causing them troubles. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, it's Bobby G, man.
Hey, what's up?
I was listening to you Sunday talking about the Ingrams and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I think I kind of, I don't know, maybe had some or something because, for 40-something years, I was at Next Gen.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to have like a lot of control. And it's really, really bad, I think. And
100%.
Since I've been listening to you, you give me some tools to think and to be free with myself and to be me. And you know how I guess when say you have an idea or something and you don't know if it's good or not, and you just need somebody else to say on the outside, it's okay. And you've given me that okay, and I appreciate that.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
And I really do because it's just amazing. I've been listening to you for about 6 months or so, and my life has just changed. And just because I'm thinking clearly now, and I'm thinking of bettering me myself, I guess. And honestly, the Christians that aren't calling in, you're right. They don't have the balls because the Christians that I used to know, they don't want to talk to me. They're all done. I'm done with them. And and for that, I feel so free and better. It's so great.
And
so great.
I think you will feel so much better once you get yourself out of that environment of error. So good for you for making that commitment, and good for you for making the break. You're obviously growing and moving into your own divinity, your own sovereignty. and your own freedom. And that is what it's all about. That's what we're here to do, is to give people the little push they need to do that. And I just wanted to say thank you very much to Renee for a great $75 Super Pal chat. Thank you so much for that. I also want to thank, we got a few people here that I want to thank. Some of them, it's been a little while. I don't want you to think that I forgot about you. Who else we got here? Okay, that's Renee again, Jeff. Go to the next one. We would like to thank Philip for a great $35 Super Pal chat. I really appreciate it very, very much. And I also, there's a lot of people here that we need to thank, and we appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for doing what you do. It helps me do and continue to do and expand what I do. So again, the phone line's open, 913-279-0831. You can call in about tonight's show. You can call in about anything. This is complete open lines. You can address anything that you want to address. You can ask anything you want to ask. If you can be polite and if you can be interesting. And speaking of interesting, tomorrow night, starting at 10 p.m. Central, we're going to have Bill Lee with us, and he's going to talk about Bigfoot. Dude, Bigfoot. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you. We're really going to talk about Bigfoot. It's going to be amazing. He has seen some stuff and done some stuff. You're going to be completely thrilled with the information that we get from Bill about Bigfoot. And then on Wednesday night, we will have Mike King. Mike King, great with history. It's always a great time with Mike King. And then we're also going to talk about on Thursday night, Xenu Lives, Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, Disclosure, and Smears. Xenu, we're going to talk about him Thursday night. And then Friday night, we're going back to the conspiracy classics. We're going to talk about Art Bell, and William Cooper on classic Friday night conspiracies. So we've got a lot of great stuff coming up, ladies and gentlemen, and you don't want to miss any of it. We've got Gosha from Cosmic Agency coming up. She's going to talk to us about some information that she received about Jesus. And we've got several other folks that we're just trying to work out time frames. So we're trying to bring you the very, very best information to expand your paradigms and get you thinking about thinking. Because Henry Ford said thinking is the hardest work in the world. That's why so few people do it. We do appreciate you, and we do thank you. And the phone lines are open, 913-279-0831. Stephen says, do you believe that the Bible was written as a book of science? Absolutely not. It's a book of fairy tales, not a book of science. In Christianity, there is no space to debate the concept of God or its actions. No, of course there's not. What else we got here? The Bigfoot show will get you with my hardcore extra friend. He loves Bigfoot. Well, Billy knows all about Bigfoot. You can go to jeffreydaugherty.com for any information you need about any of our other stuff. Was Chewbacca from Star Wars a Bigfoot? You know, I never thought about it, but exactly, right? He was, what did they call him, a Wookiee? But one man's Wookiee is another man's Bigfoot, right? No doubt about it. I like that. Very, very good. Tom being a joke, I think. There's no mention of Bigfoot in the Bible. Kelly, nice to see you. Late arriving. Oh, boy. Chewie was a Wookiee and likely a Bigfoot, says Brandon. I don't know anything about Star Wars, but I Am Monica loves Gosha. Yeah, Gosha did, I think, a 4-part show about the J-Man, and we're going to talk about the J-Man. Of course, it won't be agreement straight across the board on everything, but it's very, very interesting stuff. Monica also likes Bigfoot. Gayleen does not like Bigfoot. Interesting. Now we got into dinosaurs. We've never gone down the dinosaur hole. We should probably look at dinosaurs. That'll be interesting. Maybe Goliath was a Bigfoot, or maybe Goliath was just a made-up story. I don't know. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff. A great presentation as always.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask you, are you familiar with Herbert Walker?
Like George Herbert Walker Bush?
No, the guy that wrote Dune.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Have you happened to see the movie that David Lynch directed?
No, it just never caught my attention. I kind of started to watch it a couple times. I'm like, eh.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty interesting. I found on YouTube there's like a fan edit of it where they put in footage that they had taken out for the theatrical cut, and it's all about basically races of people, specifically the Fremen. And it's funny because Fremen sounds like free men, and it's all about leading an uprising against an oppressive force that is mining this thing called spice melange on a desert planet.
Interesting.
And I think there's something in there to be explored, because they are mining the substance, and when they take it, it allows them to travel through space by folding time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I would highly recommend looking into that. I know I've been suggesting a lot of movie ideas.
You watch a lot of movies,
but I think
Brandon.
there's a lot of disclosure in some stuff.
I agree. And do you remember, you're probably not old enough, have you ever seen any of the $6 Million Man reruns where they had Bigfoot?
No, I haven't.
They were some of his best shows.
I did find Flash Gordon. You can watch all of the old Flash Gordons on YouTube, and there's some stuff in there too about Agarthans.
Really?
I definitely think so. I think
very interesting.
Flash Gordon is likely from like a Aryan or a Nordic interdimensional being or something.
That's interesting stuff. Rivka dropping some good truth bombs in here tonight. She says that she thought that Bigfoot was a huge gorilla.
And I've heard an interesting take on gorillas, Jeff. What if it's a person in a costume?
All of them?
Well, maybe not all of them, but like Coco the gorilla.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's a good point.
A long time ago.
That's a good point.
A long time ago, I found this channel, and they were talking about the mannerisms of Coco the gorilla, and especially her ability to bond with a kitten, like, and speaking in perfect sign language and whatnot.
Yeah.
How many other examples do we have of instructors working with animals and teaching them sign language like that?
Yeah. I agree with you, man. That's a good point. That's a good point. It could very well be Coco in a mask, and who the hell knows who Joe Biden is right now, right?
Maybe Joe Biden's a gorilla. Who knows?
He's way too skinny to be a gorilla. He's like the guy's like a freaking, oh man. And I don't care if it's racial implications or not. Kamala is all gorillaed up.
Look at Serena Williams. Ugh.
Oh, wow. I didn't say that, ladies and gentlemen. That was Brandon. Just to be clear, Brandon's the one that said that about Serena. Thank you, Monica, and thank you, Rivka, for being here. We really appreciate both of you. Weekend at Biden's. I love cannibals, pot or not. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. It's 11:29. Do you know where your children are? Dinosaurs are used to program children. Wow, they really are. Please tap that like button or give it a thumbs down. It means just as much. Somebody says, whoa, it just got kind of weird. Dude, where you been? It's been weird since we started. Another person not in love with Serena's femininity, but hey, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, I'm not on the everybody's a tranny wagon, but there's a lot of people out there that are not the sex that they are putting out that they are. And here's one thing we've got to stop, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to stop talking about the genders. The word gender is a word that until the left got a hold of it only deals with language. It's like German, die, der, das. It's genders of words. Gender is not meant to be about people. Maria Sharapova, she was very hot. It's not for people. It's just sex. People are sex, male or female, period. Don't let them get you to use the word gender. It's a lie. It's a lie. It is a linguistic term. Biological sex is male or female, period. And it's just like the text. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter if you think that you're transsexual, pansexual. You're either a man or a woman. You're either a male or a female. Thank you, Rivka. Do you have a show? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, like Tracy says, you've either got indoor or outdoor plumbing, but of course we do have the occasional hermaphrodite. I'm bold and refreshing, just like Old Spice. Oh, speaking of hot tennis players, Martina Navratilova, that wasn't very nice, but it was still a little bit funny. It was still a little bit funny. Thank you, Candy. I appreciate it very much. He's right, you know. I'm not sure who he's talking about, but just in case, says Isolda, in case you didn't know, now you do. The phone lines are still open, 913-279-0831. And I've got to tell you, it continues to surprise me. When I was a Christian, I would have called me. And I would have still lost to me, but I would have called me. What happened to these guys? And so many of them say, I'll debate anybody. I'm such a great debater. Where are the disputers of this age? Let them debate us. But every night I open up the phone lines and none of them ever call me. They don't call me. They don't call. They want to write, but no, we don't let them write. I guess they're just master debaters. You like what we did with that? That was Tracy. Sorry. Late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff. It's Get Dagger. What's going on?
Get Dagger. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. I just watched the work of the auditor earlier because I missed it just before the show, so I watched it. Interesting stuff. I can never get enough of that Dianetic stuff.
Oh, nice.
I'm always trying to. Yeah, I think clearing yourself, just watching this show, and even just talking to people on the chat by interacting with people. I don't know if that does that as well. Like, I know I've been trying to clear myself for the last few years, and I think this helps as well. Just interacting with people. What's your thoughts on that?
What it does when you interact with people and you talk about it and you discuss it, it actually brings about what we call release. It releases the emotional trauma, brings about release. It probably won't take you all the way to a clear, but it can definitely get you a long way towards being a release. Great point, Get Dagger. You're right on. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Jeff, I wasn't thinking about being on this quick. Is the sound on?
It's on. No, you're good. You're good. You're golden.
Okay. I was planning to call and thank the lady that one of your fans, she leaves the comments down there on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Right then. And her name was Janice Myers, I believe it was, or not. Was it Myers? Anyway, she was from England. And she was talking about Mel's Hole when I called in on Mel's Hole.
About Mel's Hole, yeah.
Yeah, and she said that to tell you that, or she wrote it in there, that there really are catfish like that they have found those and that they live.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to thank her, and she's from England. And I'm sorry about the last name. I had it wrote down in my notes, but I was looking for them. I didn't know I was going to get through that quick. Man, I just called. Bang, I'm in there. You know.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a light call night tonight for the first time. Oh, Isolda.
Wow.
Isolda, listen to this
way,
one, John. Isolda says, here's a simple solution for those who are confused about their sex. Just pull down your underwear and check once a day to be reminded.
Oh, do you look in the mirror to see the backside too, or?
Yeah, that'll work.
Anyway, what was I going to say about the? No, well, you got my mind off what I was going to tell you. Oh, about the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
The only Bigfoot story I got is the one I saw at a freak show.
Oh, you've been to too many freak shows, John.
I have been to a bunch of them. I really have. It's crazy.
It worries me a little bit.
The guy was he had it in an ice freezer, kind of like the one you get into. And anyway,
I'm gonna get into. I don't get it till the 20th, but yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it's frozen, and all you could see is a bunch of mass of hair. This thing was in there, and they claimed that it was found and shot from the last.
You know, John, I fell for that bullshit one time. I used to really, I was into sharks. This is before I ever dove with sharks, but it was like, see this shark, and it looked like it was a tank, right? And it looked like there was a shark in the tank. You pay your money, you go up there, and there's a damn stuffed shark in the tank. It wasn't even alive. Pissed me off.
Oh, God. I bet.
Pissed me off.
Anyway.
Thanks so much, John.
She used to scuba dive with, oh, you got me off there, didn't you?
No, I didn't. You're there. You're here.
Oh, she used to scuba dive in the Bahamas with porpoises and everything down under the water. And she said that was fun. I mean, they were, they filmed it and everything. I got a video of her doing it.
Very cool. I did dive with great whites for a week, and that was really something too. Oh crap. I hung up. I'm sorry. I hung up on you. Jesse says she is all feminine female. Glad to hear it, Jesse. It's late night in the heartland. Your life with Jeffrey Daugherty. Please turn down your sound.
Hi there.
Hello.
I'm calling back. I wanted to ask you about L. Ron Hubbard.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about him? And I read a biography about him about 4 or 5 years ago, and it wasn't very good. It said a lot of bad things about him, and pretty much he kind of was isolated to the desert, I guess, for the last years of his life when he died. Do you think he came up with Scientology himself, or was that with help from his buddies, that, the guys he was running around with?
Yeah. You probably, you probably want to do some more research before you come to decisions, but actually, and I've talked about this, I have a whole create yourself White Dianetic playlist on the channel. So what L. Ron Hubbard did was a lot like what I've done. He went on 7 continents. I've only been on 5 continents, but he studied all of the great belief systems of the planet. And I've done very similar. I was a Pentecostal minister. I was initiated as a Wiccan high priest. I've, looked at and done a lot of things. And what Hubbard did, he was a curator, right? He looked and he studied and he found the things that work from all the great belief systems of the world. And he cobbled together, he curated the most effective and elegant system of spiritual technologies on the planet. And it works every single time it's tried. That's white Dianetics, but there's also black Dianetics, which is what MK Ultra became while Hubbard was working on the white Dianetics in the same hospital. They were taking his results and back engineering it as a science to enslave people. And that's what the Church of Scientology is today. And that's what MK Ultra is today. So it's all about white Dianetics versus black Dianetics. So look into things more deeply. Hey, everybody got to pay the bills. Hubbard was a hell of a science fiction writer. Everybody got to pay the bills, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how Ron paid the bills. Plastic J is alive and he lives in Colorado. That comes from South Park. That's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder what Mike's going to talk about on Wednesday. Will, I made a prediction that Tom Cruise would leave Scientology by the end of 2020. I missed on that one, but I think he's on his way out. I really do. He won't leave the tech, but he will leave the Church of Scientology as it stands today. That's my point. Black Dianetics is part of the Hollywood trap. Absolutely. Tracy's been to South Park. I didn't know it was really a place. Gayleen hopes so. I do too. I still like Tom Cruise. And, I don't know about all that. I grew up watching Star Trek with my dad. Maybe that was a really good thing. Laura, I've said that I learned everything I needed to know from Captain Kirk and L. Ron Hubbard. There might be a couple of other people, but that's a really good start. That's a really, really good start with those two guys right there. The phone lines are still open, 913-279-0831. 913-279-0831. South Park's near Boulder. Tom Cruise does make great movies. You got to watch Oblivion. Oblivion was just a monster of a movie, ladies and gentlemen. And I guess South Park is near Breckenridge. Wow, who knew that it was even a real place? I guess now I know it's a real place. Let's go ahead and check our late night in the Heartland fodder file and see if we've got some interesting information in there. I'm sure we do. I got a new one here that's kind of interesting. Miles Mathis. Boy, if you want to look down some rabbit holes, Miles Mathis is a place to go. He's a great researcher. He's not afraid to ask the hard questions. Florida Maquis. I think that Cynthia X-nayed him because he was pushing the vax. That's what I think. Don't quote me 100%, but I think Florida Maquis is pushing the vax, and if he is, that disqualifies him in my book. Somebody's given me coordinates of Mel's Hole. Vern, how do we know that those really are the coordinates? Have you been there? Because if I really had the coordinates, I would go, but I don't want to drive all the way up there if I don't know the coordinates. Vern, if you're listening, can you follow up on that email and help me understand the what's at those coordinates, if it really is something that we can go see, or if it's just going to be an exercise in futility for me driving all the way up there. Don't want to do it if I don't have to, but if I knew that Mel's Hole was up there, dude, I would be there in a heartbeat. Let's see. I think that we've already used the late night in the Heartland fodder, so that's good news. And we've got another caller. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, it's Catherine in Ohio.
Catherine in Ohio. I'm so glad you called. What's on your mind?
Hey, I'm going to shoot you off an email tonight.
Please do.
Keep getting busy. Hey, as far as Mel's Hole go, I did ask my pendulum, my higher self, if you could actually go there, and it said that the military's got it under wraps.
Oh, wow. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, really. I know it would be fun to go see, but I'm not sure you can get close to it.
So, Catherine, let me ask you this. Brandon says that, and the key word here is all. He says all of Victoria's Secret's models are men. Yes or no?
Yep.
All?
They have an Adonis belt. If you look for the V shape, only men have Adonis belts. So
the V shape. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm starting to know what an Adonis belt is, and this is too much information, but I lost 50 pounds. It's now over 50 pounds. And I found this guy on YouTube. His name is Igor, and he does workout videos. Dude, he's amazing. and I'm starting to get to where I can see my Adonis belt, bitches.
Yeah, I mean, women don't have one because we have a womb.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
So, you know, if you go out and look at a bunch of celebrities and they've got the V shape going down, or it's a model. Yeah, I mean.
So you're saying, like, if you look at, for example, Pink, she's got that Adonis belt big time. So you're telling me that ain't a chick?
That is not a chick. It's impossible.
You know, I was in Philly. I got married to some girl in Philly. I was married to her for like 28 days. And I'm sitting in this car in Philly, and up beside me drives Pink. I'm like, hey, I like your work. That bitch just rolled up her window and didn't say shit to me.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go.
I mean, you know, people will say, oh, she had a kid and all, but they use fake bellies.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
They, you know where they get the kids. So,
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
I mean, I'm not saying there isn't one Victoria's Secret model that is real woman, but, you know, look for the V.
Look for the V. Because, yeah. But, anyway, I'll leave that alone. What else, Catherine?
What else? As far as tonight, I caught half the show. I mean, I think, I don't know if anybody brought up solstice, but, funny how solstice is Easter, etc. So,
it is
obviously a pagan situation. That's why it changes its date all the time.
Somebody says dolls with balls.
Whoa, okay.
Catherine, what do you think about Bigfoot?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it is. I've never met one.
Yeah, I've never seen one myself, and I've seen you know what? I did see a fucking Bigfoot. I forgot all about it. I saw a skunk ape. Yeah, I'll let you go and I'll tell you the story. My dad and I, my grandmother lived about an hour and a half from us. We lived in Seminole, Florida, and she lived in Lady Lake, which is by Orlando. So, we'd be sitting there at night, and my dad would say, let's go to grandma's. Grandma lived on the lake. She had a pool and all that stuff. So we'd do that. So one night we did that, and we got a pizza, and we're driving up, and my dad had to go to the bathroom. So he just pulls over on 441, if you know where that is. And he leaves the car running. He goes out into the woods to do his thing. And out in front of me walks this skunk ape, like a 7-foot skunk ape. And he's kind of reddish grayish. And he walks out, and he's standing in the beam of lights, but kind of at the edge of it. And he starts sniffing the air, and he looks right at me. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to die because of a fucking mushroom and pepperoni pizza that's sitting on my lap because my dad said, let's get a pizza, and we're eating it. And he smells that pizza. And about that time, my dad walks out of the woods, and the Bigfoot skunk ape looks at my dad, looks at me, and then it almost looked like he shrugged his shoulders. Like, he just walked across the highway and into the woods that were into the median, and it was a damn Bigfoot skunk ape, whatever you call it, man. Somebody says the skunk ape is the black sheep of the Bigfoot family. I'm just surprised I'm just glad that bitch didn't decide to come kill me over a pizza. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Turn the sound off, John.
Turn the sound off, John.
Oh, you know what you do? You sit here and you listen to it, and then you turn it off right at the last second. Sometimes I'm getting too old to do that. Anyway, did you ever hear the story about L. Ron Hubbard's son writing a book against him, real scathing book about him being on drugs and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and that was the son that got passed over for the leadership. Funny how that happens, but anyway.
Funny how the kids sometimes turn on their parents like that.
It is. It is.
Yeah. I wanted to mention on a movie once I saw in the 50s. It was called Planet X, the Forbidden Planet, or something like that. And anyway, the inside of that planet was nothing but a gigantic computer. And you remember that Robbie the Robot part and all that stuff about when the robot was on there? You remember that, seeing that movie?
I didn't see that one.
Ooh, well, anyway, what happened was that these people that used to live there disappeared, but they all were gigantic. I mean, way ahead scientifically in their minds and everything. And they had these computers. The whole planet inside it was a computer. And they destroyed themselves by their dreams. They would get on this computer and have this headset on.
Wow.
And the computer would create monsters from their bad dreams. And it's really
interesting.
This monster would be invisible, and it would come out, and it could go through steel doors and melt the doors and everything. And actually, what it was the old scientist that was left there on the planet. He was jealous of his daughter, and he would fall asleep, and this thing would create this monster, and they were coming to rescue him and bring him back. It's really a great movie. It's called The Forbidden Planet, I believe it was called.
I'll have to see that one. That's interesting. And what was somebody just saying? Oh, talking about Bigfoot. I think Bill might get into this. Some people have said, there's like this green glow when Bigfoot comes in or out, so he might be interdimensional. I think Bill might be of the belief that Bigfoot is interdimensional. I think that they might have even have invited Bill to go into that other dimension and shit. So Bill Lee tomorrow, and it's going to be one hell of a show. Bigfoot with Bill Lee, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be good stuff. I can't wait to hear what Bill Lee, and he's a voiceover artist, so you'll love Bill Lee's voice. It's going to be great stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Get Dagger will save his Bigfoot story. Good. It was a Canadian Bigfoot, eh? How about that? Oh, Tasmania. Are you in Tasmania? I had a friend that I worked with in Lake Tahoe that was from Tasmania. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Bigfoot Boomer will be there tomorrow night. Gayleen is looking forward to it. A coyote and a fox are small, says Kathy, in case you were wondering. That's random. Claudette, thanks. Have you asked the Rods anything about Bigfoot? Nope, I haven't. Is Bill the one who gets left by the Bigfoot? I don't know. We'll have to ask Bill about that, Barbara. I'll have to ask Bill about that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great night. We've had some great calls. We've had some great questions, and yet not one Christian scholar that dares to call. I just don't get it. I really don't. I just don't get it. And I start this show. I hope they'll call. They don't call. All they want to do is write. And it's just not a write-in show. It's a call-in show. Please like the video. Kathy, I lived in South Shore for almost 5 years. Really enjoyed it. It was a great place. Please like the video or give it a thumbs down. If you're here and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. We would love to have you. And the smoke monster from Lost. I didn't watch Lost either. Thumbs up or thumbs down on your way out. Best chat on YouTube. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Rivka, for turning on your notifications. That way you won't miss a thing. So I think we're going to go ahead and call a wrap on this, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to go ahead and call a wrap on this. So it's been late night in the Heartland. And I want to thank you for making my day. Bog Caddy says that a Sasquatch walked by their tent in BC. Wow. This is podcast excellence. Thank you, Jama. Nice to see you, Artie. All the models? Everyone? Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Is Bigfoot circumcised? Wow.